We'll open our project folder inside our VS Code. And here, you don't only have to open VS Code first before you can do that. Because of the add to when we were installing it, we had an option which says add to Explorer. Because of that, we can open in folders from anywhere, even on the desktop. So this is our folder. You can just put our mouse on it, right click on it, and then there is this option here which says open with code. Okay, there is this option which says open with code. You can just click on it, and then VS Code will open for us because of that Explorer options. So this is our project from the last lesson, and we'll try to add more to it in today's lesson. So in our previous lesson, we downloaded and installed Python and then VS Code. We also added extensions to it, which we said that the extension becomes the connection between the software, that is the Python software, and then the Visual Studio Code that will facilitate the software's ability, or the VS Code's ability of being able to compile or render Python code. So without extension means that you cannot run a Python code on VS Code. All right, so we have to deal with some functions like print, of which we said that the print takes whatever argument or whatever value we have in between the parentheses or the bracket, and then displays it on the terminal. That is what the print function does. We also got to know that there are a lot of functions of which we are going to look at today. So today I'll go into my day 2 folder, day 2 here, and then I'll just have to select, and then I'll create a file inside of it. So with this file, I'm going to call it app. I can just add app.py because they are in separate folders, so I can use the same names for it. Okay, and then you can still have app.py here, but because they are in separate folders, they will still work. Okay. Okay, so this is our project for today. That is day 2. And today we're also going to look at another function, because Python is made up of a lot of functions. So today we are also looking at another function, and that is, we are looking at the input function. So as I said, whenever you write a Python function, it comes with a parenthesis. Okay, so the parenthesis is what is going to take the value that you want to present, and then take it. Now, similar to print, input rather takes in or awaits for the user to type in an entry. You see that the print takes the argument and presents it on the terminal, okay, for you to see it. But the input is going to wait for you to type in something into the terminal. So it's like the form field. So once you use the input, it means that you are allowed to type in an entry into the terminal. Good. So the input will not display what is inside on the terminal, but it rather allow you to enter something on the terminal. So that's what we're going to do. So inside the bracket, let's give an option. Let's give an option to prompt the user. So we're also going to add the quotation marks and then say maybe enter your name. This is just telling the user what should happen there. So if it is enter a number, it has to be a number or anything, okay? And not adding anything to the input function. It is not modernizing the input function. What it just do is to giving the user an information on what to do there, okay? and it's not a necessity because I can clean everything here and then input will still work. So once I say, if I run it, input will still work, but nothing will happen. Okay, so I just need to add something in it and then maybe enter your name. And once I have it, I can run it. So this is what is going to happen. Okay, this is taking the input, but because the input is not allowed to print an info on the terminal, it's not going to run. Okay, it is not going to run because it is not allowed to print it, except that we call the print function to display the input. So it is the job of the print to present what we have there on the terminal. So we have to call the print function for the input. But when we do this is another function. Okay, we can similarly put everything we have here inside of this. Okay, we have multiple functions. That is the print function, the input function embedded in the print function. So we want to print an input, enter your name. So if we run it, you see that it's asking us to enter our name. Okay, previously it wouldn't show here because there was no print function there. Okay, so we just write anything that we want to write, and once we hit it, it will print whatever we wrote back to us here. Okay, so let me do some nice programming here. So I'll leave some spaces here. So print input, then enter your name. I can run it. It says enter your name. My name is Irene, and then the name we entered is displayed here. Okay, this is a simple way we can do, but there is more better way we can do it. I want you to I want to know if you understand this approach before we move on to something that will be more easier to understand.
No, please go over again for me.
Okay, so we talked about functions in Python. We have the print function, of which we know that it takes the argument from the coding that we are doing and then print it on the terminal for us to see the programming we are doing. And then we also have an input function which allows the user to enter a command inside the terminal. With the print function, you cannot enter a command on it, but with the help of the input, the name suggests input, which means it allows you to enter a command on the terminal. But we cannot use the input function just like that. We have to bring the print function to take the input and then present it on the terminal. Remember, it is the job of the print function to print whatever is on the terminal, on the project on the terminal. So that is what it does. So if I remove the print function, if I remove it, this is a code that can run, but we will not see it on the terminal. Let me clean the terminal. Let me clean the terminal. Okay. Okay. This is a code that will run, but we need to know whatever the user is going to enter. Okay. So if for now, if I say Irene, you see nothing will happen. I've typed Irene, but nothing has happened. So it is the job of the print. It is the job of the print to take whatever we will enter in the input and present it back here. Okay, so the input, we have the input function which says enter your name, but when we enter the name, nothing happens. When we enter the name, nothing happens. So if I say this, nothing happens. So what I can do is that I want to see whatever I type or whatever the user types on the terminal. So I have to embed it inside the function, inside the print function, and the print function will take whatever we type and then display it on the terminal once again. Let's run it and see. Okay, enter your name. Now you see that whatever we type is now displayed here, exactly as we type. Okay. If you also say enter a number, remember this is not modernizing anything. It is not modifying the input. Okay. So if you say we should enter a number, it's the same thing that's going to happen, but just the name will change. If I type 4, the 4 I type will be displayed here. Do we understand this?
Yes.
Okay. So this is just, I would say, a primitive idea to do that. There's a simple way we can also do this, or which will be more understandable. Okay. So the same way with the print function, we're going to declare an input here, which says enter your name. Good, like this. And then we are going to ask the print to do something. So we're going to just write something like your name is. Okay, we want some additions here. We want to print your name is, whatever name that will be printed on the terminal. So to do that, let me clean this one. Input equals enter your name. So we want to print whatever name that will be printed or will be typed inside the input. Okay, and then add more some grammar to it. Maybe your name is the name that will be entered here. But we cannot just implement this anyhow. We have to store this one, the input, in a variable. So that's the concept of variable. So I'll say name equals input, enter your name. Okay, now the name here or the variable is like a container. Okay, it's like a container, and which has I would say water in it. If you want to get access to the water, unless we get access to the container, okay, because you cannot fetch the water just like that. You have to get a container to put the water in it. So anytime you want the water, you have to now get the container. So that's the concept of variable. That's the concept of variable. So now that I have the container here, I want to get access to the container. I have the container here, so I have to get access to the container. So I'll print your name is, and then I'll add the variable to it. Okay, your name is plus name. That is the variable name. So that's the container I'm passing here. I can clean this one. This one is not doing anything. It's just giving us information about it. I can clean this one and say print name. Okay, if I say I run it, Irene, and then you see that Irene is displayed here. So this is just 2 lines. The first one, single line. This one is 2 lines, but this is more easier to understand. So I'll just do your name is, and then I'll run it, enter the name, and call it your name is Irene, because now Irene is stored inside this name variable. So wherever I call the name, to be displayed for me. This is ideal because there are certain times that you will need to use certain code somewhere. Okay, you don't only need to do the coding all over again. That is why the concept of variable is advisable. So on my 3rd line, you can see that I want to type something like you are. Okay, you are. I can as well add it here. Add it here. So variable allow us to do multiple assignments. Okay, so you see that we have only one variable, but we can call them at any time, at any point in time, and then at anywhere that we need it. So you see that I have here Then Irene is printed 2 times. The first one says your name is Irene. The second one says you are Irene. So we don't need to do any other thing again to get the second one. You see, it's just one assignment and we can get it over and over again. Let's come to when we want to work with numbers. So I'll say numbers. Number. Maybe, okay, let me see. num_1 equals input. Just enter number here. So enter num1 says num2. I want to show you something. num2 input. Enter num. Enter second number. Enter first number. Good. So we have 2 numbers here. The first number and then the second number. I can just do print, then say first number. Oh, num1. Then the variable name, that is num1. And then plus num2. Okay. When I say print num1 and then num2, it means that I want to add. So Irene, let me get rid of this. So it says that enter the first number. And then whatever it means, what it means is that we have created a container which will contain the first number we will type. So take, for instance, a calculator. Calculator has a lot of variables. So we have a variable that will store the first number and then the second number. Okay. And then if you want to add a third number, it will add the previous numbers and then assign the total to a second number. And then assign the total to a first number and then allow you to type a second number. Okay, so it says enter the first number, we say 4. The second number, it says 5. And then we are saying print num1 plus num2. It says 45. It says 45. Okay, I'll tell you the reason why this gives us 45. So the concept of variable allows you, as I said, it's like a container. If you want to get access to the values, the values in the container, you have to get access to the container first, and then you can use the container elsewhere. Okay. Do you have a question?
No, please.
Are you clear on this? Are you clear on this one?
No, really, but you said you explained something.
The reason why the first number and the second number is 45.
Yes.
I want you to get us, it's an addition. So I want you to get the understanding of what this will do, what the variable is. So I can go over. So
yeah,
the concept of a variable is that we take, for instance, your wallet or your purse, which has money in it. Now you see that before you can get access to the money in it, what do you do first? You pick your wallet or your purse, right? Now, in a situation that you don't take your wallet or your purse along with you, you may choose to put the money in your pocket. Maybe it will not be enough, but you put it inside your pocket. Whenever you reach a point where you want to buy something, you can take the money from your pocket and then buy it. If you get to a point that you get exhausted, meanwhile you have money inside your wallet or your purse in the house. So you just you just tell yourself, oh, I have money in my pocket or in my wallet. I did not bring it. So that is why here the concept of Bible is advisable that we carry our purse along. So anytime we want to make payment, we go inside the purse and then take the money. So with this one, you know that you have enough money in it that you can buy elsewhere. Okay, you can buy anything that you want. Now, let's take, for instance, a pen drive. Okay, a pen drive. You have a pen drive which contains lots of songs. Do you know that anywhere you reach that you get access to a USB bus or a USB port anywhere, you can put the pen drive on it and then get access to the songs, regardless of your laptop, whether you have it's your laptop or not. Once you have your pen drive with you, you can get access to every folder or file on it. But when you put it on your laptop, at a point where somebody wants to get access to the information, unless you give the person your laptop. So if it's at home and you're at work, you need to walk back and then get it. But you can easily store the information on a pen drive and then carry it along. Anywhere you reach, you can download or copy it to other people. That is the concept of variable. So if I do something like name, the name I have here is the pen drive. Okay. The name I have here is the pen drive, and then I'll add some data in it. So I'll add maybe Irene's name in it. So if I say, okay, let's start by this. Remember that when we started, we did print like this. Then we said print Irene. So here it's going to only print whatever is in it. That is Irene. If you want to print Isaac, we have to also do another print. If you want to print Godfred, we are still going to add another print like this, which is not advisable. Okay, if you have to do everything all over again, it is not advisable. So the concept of the print, the variable, will give us a single line code to do it. So we just say name equals, then we call the input, then say enter your name. Okay, with this one, the same code will keep on running for Isaac, Irene, Godfred. So if I say print name, it means that whatever I enter here, whether Isaac or Irene, will run for us. So first of all, let me do this. Then run the first one for you to see. If I run the first one, you see that I have 3 names here, just 3 names: Irene, Isaac, Godfred. Now, let me get rid of this and then open up this one. If I run this one will wait for me to type whatever name that I have. Okay, if it's Irene, it's going to print Irene for me. The same code, the same line of code, that is 2 lines, I can use it for another person. Like say Isaac. Isaac will still also print for me. I can use the same code for Godfred. It will work for me. I can use the same code for anybody that I know. It will still work. Before then, we could have had only 3 names printed because those are the names that is stored inside the software. But with this approach, we can store any other name in the software without having to import it or build it with the software. So imagine that Facebook is using the print function like this. like this one, which means that if you want to create an account on Facebook, you will have to contact Facebook for them to add your name. Do you understand this? If they had built Facebook like this, it means that if you want to create or if you want to use Facebook, you have to call them so that they will add your name so that you can get access to it. Okay, but because they have done it this way, they have opened it up for you to type your credentials, your sign up account, your sign up details so that you can. So this is how it works. You understand?
Yes, yes, please. I'm
Okay.
getting a small.
Yes. So use the concept of Facebook. Okay. Use the concept of Facebook that you don't need to call Facebook to add your name to their system before you can use it. You can sit behind your computer because you have a form there. And this is a form. Okay. You have a form there that will fill, and then it will. This what we are seeing on the terminal simply means that it is storing your information on the system. So if you go to Facebook and say, my name is Irene, my username is this, my password is this, it is stored on their system that the next time that you come, it will be able to give back to you that this is your name, this is that, this is that. So that's the concept. Good. So let's create a simple project and see here. I'm going to create a new file and call it project. We are going to create project.py. We're going to create a simple form. So I'll say first name, because let's say we are signing up to Facebook. First name equals input. Says enter first name. Oh, this update. Says this one is second name, or let's say surname. And this one also says enter surname. And then so you enter your username. You want to use this one, username, just like that. So there will be a button for you to submit. Now, because we are doing a terminal, we are coding, we are going to use the enter as the submit button on, or that is the sign up button on Facebook. Okay, so when you are signed up to Facebook, you say enter your first name, enter your surname, enter your username. We are using these three. So what it's going to do is that there is a function which says print first name. So that is the name that you enter. And then says plus surname, then plus username. This simply what is doing that it is storing whatever information you would type into Facebook system as a user. That is how come you can use the same form. I can use the same form, the sign up form on Facebook. Anybody can also use the same sign up form. But what it's going to do is that it's going to create their own account for them separately, though they are using the same form. Okay. So that's what it's going to do. There's a function which says print the username that will be entered, the surname that will be entered, and then the surname, the username that will be entered on the system. So when we run it, so Facebook is now running. You have visited Facebook sign up page. It says enter your first name. You type Irene. It says enter your second name. You type Amwa, and it says enter your username. I know your username is this, right? Okay, so this is your username. If you, they have been printed together, don't worry. If you hit submit, or if you hit sign up, this is what is going to store in the Facebook system, so that anytime you want to sign in, it will remember this and then allow you to get access to Facebook. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes, please.
Yes. So all these information that you type here are stored in the system of Facebook. They are stored in the Facebook system. So if you want to come and sign in, it will take your username and compare it to what they have there. If your username is equal to this, then they will give you access to your account. So that's the concept of variable, which means that
Okay.
if they check this username and it is not here, or it is not what is related to this one, they will not give you access to it. That is why it's not everybody who can use your Facebook if you don't have your password. Facebook will use the password
Yeah.
to check. Yes, to check if the password is assigned to any of this. If the password assigned to this is what you have typed in the sign-in box, then it will give you access to the information we have here. Do you now understand?
Yes, please. Please, I have a question.
All right.
You see the number 1, 2, and 3. When you are typing, it's like maybe first name, the what's it called? The inverted commas and the colon that you bring. Does it come automatically, or like one has to input all those things?
No, you have to
Yeah,
check.
that one.
You see that if I remove it, let me show you something. You see that when they are saying enter username, you see that the dot come, the colon, the colon comes here.
Yeah.
Now I have removed them. If I say print, you see that they are no longer coming. Or you're talking about the bracket or the quotation marks.
Yes, quotation marks and the bracket and I'm just asking that, does it come automatically, or as in the software developer, you, the person behind it, you should input all those things?
You have to type them by yourself.
Okay.
There are certain things which you can hit enter and then it will come. But these ones you need to type them. Okay.
Okay.
The other things you need to type them. Okay. But for the quotation mark, the bracket, and other things, you type them by yourself. So you hit shift and then you press and then it comes. So everything inside from here to here, you have to type them by yourself. But with the functions, once you start typing, it will suggest to you what you want to type. So with that, you can just click this one and then it will come. If you want to type input, you see that once I type INP, it will suggest to me, is this what I want to type? Just hit the tab or or click on it. If I click on the tab key on the keyboard, it will just come for me to use it. So you simply have to create them to allow the users to know what is there. This is just for them to, and then the space. You need to also create a space so that I told you that earlier. I told you that I can decide not to type anything, like I can just use this. Okay, it is still there, but this one will not tell me what to do. It is just giving you it will not tell me anything that, oh, come on. Let me use this one. So you see that with this one, it is not asking me anything. It has just added the greater than sign there that I don't even know what to type. Okay, that is the concept with the CMD. But I have to now type something. I don't know what I'm typing. So the information you give here is important. You're asking the user to enter first name, you should add it. Enter second name, you should add it. Then the person will know that this is what I'm entering. Now let's go to numbers. If I try to add let's say a number, okay, equals input, and I say the person should enter a number. With this one, even if the person
Telephone
enters,
number.
is that
Yeah, I was like telephone number.
yes? So it says print number. Even if the person enters a text like this, let me show you something. You want the person to enter a number. If you run it like this, let me run it clean. Okay, it says enter number. I can print 3. 3 will be printed for me. What if I don't see and I enter Irene there? Maybe you want the person to enter a number. Irene has still printed. Meanwhile, I want a number. So what can I do to get just numbers, only numbers? There is a data type, which is, we have a data type number and then string. A string is has to do with the text, and then a number has to do with an integer. So before we can do that, you want only a number to be printed here. We have to do something we call an integer. We need to convert the string into an integer. Remember, this is a string. So we need to convert it into an integer. So we use the keyword int. Okay, if we use the int, we have to wrap it inside a bracket because it's also a function. So it will turn all this into an integer. So when we run it, if I type Irene, listen to what it will tell me. If I type Irene now, it says there is an error. Okay, but what if I type 3? Then only 3 will be printed for me. So in the form, if you please kindly reconnect. Okay, I don't know, kindly reconnect. It will end now. Kindly reconnect. I have to check up on this.
Okay.